Hi everyone, and welcome to Endless Legend 2. So, I got the opportunity to play a preview build of Endless Legend 2, and in this video I actually wanted to focus on what makes Endless Legend 2 different, why should you care about it, and what makes it stand out in general, compared to other 4X games. And there are a few things that are definitely notable that I will talk about here. Now, one thing that's not very different is the fact, well, you start by founding your capital, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. Now, the factions in Endless Legend 2 do play very differently. In this preview build, we only have 2 of them available, and I'm playing as the Aspects. But I don't want to focus too much on the details, because there will be plenty of time for that. I want to focus on the big picture. So here's one interesting thing about Endless Legend 2, the way you build up your city. So generally speaking, the buildings, or rather the districts, are built on the map like this, which is not like super different from some of the other games that have already done it. What is different, however, is that you can only build a district on the map if you have a foundation. So by default, when we start a city, we will have a foundation adjacent to the city center, like on each of these tiles we have a foundation, well, not on an anomaly. But if we want to expand that, we actually have to pay influence to get more foundations. Like in this case, I would have to pay 82 influence to build a foundation on any one of these tiles. Now, every district does have some bonuses. They can vary quite a bit. Here are some examples. We can get adjacency bonuses for a river, for a lake. We can get +1 food on each tile that already produces food. But in case of, for example, laboratory, we can get extra science on a tile that already produces 2 different types of yields. Now, in this particular case, this is actually kind of a nice start, because we got 2 anomalies right away. And if I turn on the yields, you can see that these are definitely outliers in terms of yields. We get 6 production from this one, and 7 food, 5 approval from this one. So this is probably the best start I've seen so far from my limited sample size. Now, we don't have curiosities like this one. We can just pick this up, and we got +2 movement actually for 10 turns. So that is really good. And then we have minor factions. So one of the biggest differences in the early game between Endless Legend 2 and pretty much every other 4X game I played is that you will start on an island, you will be surrounded by water, there will be no other major player on your island, you will be alone, there will be minor factions, but there will be no other major player. And what happens is that you have tidefalls. Tidefalls is one of the biggest major features of Endless Legend 2, and when a tidefall happens at various stages of the game, the sea level goes down and reveals more land. So this will create connections to other land masses, which you will then be able to explore, reach other players, and so on. So this has a few major consequences. One of them is that you will not have to deal with very early aggression from other minor players at the start of the game, but you will also get a chance to explore further later in the game. So if you enjoy the exploration phase of the game, this will now be spread out throughout the entire game, and it won't just happen at the start. Anyway, minor factions do give you various benefits. That's kind of similar to Endless Legend 1. Each of them will generally unlock a new unit. So, when you pick a faction, you obviously do pick units that you will get. Most of them will not be unlocked right now, so it's just the sentry here and the envoy. We will unlock more of them later on. So, for example, right here, the observer and the sky scale. But more importantly, you will unlock a lot of units through minor factions, like these guys over here. So this will be a major part of your army composition. But of course, you also get other bonuses from these factions. And minor factions are a big part of the game, and a big part of your strategic planning. And the way you can integrate these minor factions is, well, there are a few things you can do. You can bribe them. In this case, we can't afford it. You can parlay, which will give you a quest. Or you can just destroy them, which is usually not advisable, but you might want to just get rid of them. However, obviously, if you get rid of them, you will not be able to get any bonuses from them, because you destroyed them. So in this particular case, they want us to collect 3 curiosities, which sounds easy enough, and this will pacify them. Later on, you will be able to use this screen over here to establish a protectorate. When you establish a protectorate over a minor faction, you will gain access to their unique effects and new constructibles. So right now we obviously can't do that, we will be able to do that later on. We have to pacify them first, and they need to be inside our territory. And the way we can expand our territory, at least as the aspects, is right here, by building coral spores. And then we'll be able to turn these into settlements. The cost will increase, so right now it's 30, but it will be more after that. And one interesting thing about the coral is that when it expands, it can pacify the villages, as you can see right here. It also increases the yields on the tiles it spreads to. Now, you can control your citizens, your population in your cities. Right now I can move them between scribes, artisans, and the citizens. And you can see here what kind of effect it will have on yields. So for now we'll have them on production, to speed up our production a little bit. You can also see when exactly your city is going to grow, right here. So I could make it grow 1 turn faster, like so. Or I can just assign them to production. So we don't know what we'll be dealing with. I'm going to grab another unit. So this here is a ranged unit, as you can see. And this here is a melee defensive unit. Now, research. Research is pretty similar to First Endless Legend, I would say. So, generally speaking, you have various eras. 6 or 7 in this case, 6 total. And you can move on to the next era when you research enough technologies from the previous one. You don't have to stop researching technologies from the previous one if you want to research more, but you need to have, in this case, at least 8 to move on to the second era, at least 16 to move on to the next era after that, and so on. And they are divided into 4 categories. In this case, you have defense, you have society, you have economy, and you have discovery. There will be some recommendations, like over here, but you don't have to follow them. We can unlock the laboratory to get more science. Alright, and before we finish this turn, you also have heroes. Now, heroes are pretty damn important in this game, and they can do a lot, actually. They can use equipment, they level up, they can get skills. So right now, I only have 1 item here, Poison Swords. We can equip that. And as you can see, it gives me this active power over here, which has a range of 3. And it deals 3 damage and applies vulnerable status to the units it hits. But we also have the skill tree. And there's quite a lot going on over here. We do have some attributes. There's Might, which improves the hero's offense skills. There's Resilience, which improves defensive skills. There's Intuition. And there's Determination. So we start with 2 points in Resilience, 1 in Intuition, 1 in Determination. And when I hover over them, you can see that it highlights which skills benefit from this attribute. And you can check what exactly they do. So in this case, for example, terrain logistics. When gathering a curiosity, you gain 5 experience to all units in this army. And if you have intuition, you gain more experience for each point of intuition. If I check, let's say, resilience, which we have 2 points in, we have deflecting stance, which adds defense to all units in this army, and it adds even more defense for each point of resilience. Here we have nature of the beast. It adds 10 maximum health to itself, and it adds even more health for each point of resilience. You get the idea. And you can see that these attributes come from hero traits. In this case, we have charismatic, which adds resilience and determination, and we have confident, which adds resilience and intuition. We also have this colonizer trait right here. More interestingly, you can also have a nemesis later on, which is a particular enemy who has wronged your hero, and whose defeat will offer special bonuses. I quite like this. I can't think of any 4X game that has done this before. You can also have a companion, which will give you some bonuses, You can turn them into a power couple. In this case, this won't really do anything for me, but this is an option. So there's a lot going on here. Alright, we'll go explore and hopefully collect some curiosities. We need to find 3. Here's one. Now here's an anomaly, so it might be worth claiming this territory. Here's also another anomaly. And another one. We got 2 anomalies right next to each other. And here's yet another one. So it's probably worth claiming this area. We can grab a coral spore here. That will take 3 turns, and it costs us 30 dust. So here's a narrative quest we'll get, because Endless Legend 2, similarly to Endless Legend 1, is pretty heavily narrative driven, so you will have quite a lot of these quests, and some of them are actually pretty interesting. It's not necessarily just like go here, build that. Some of the ones I've seen seem pretty interesting. So in this case we need to build Coral Spore 2 times, and we are actually already doing that. And not sure if I'll get a credit for this one, hopefully yes. Okay, we unlocked the laboratory, I will definitely build one. And we actually got attacked. Okay, so I can show you combat, because in Endless Legend 2, combat is fully tactical, and you can have full manual control over it. Now, you will have an option for instant resolution. In this case, I can instantly resolve it, and you can see how much damage I'll take. This is actually something I really like, because you don't have to like guess what's going to happen, and then maybe you use instant resolution, and the outcome is not quite what you liked. So here you can see exactly what's going to happen if I use this option. You can also see the estimated power of each army, but in this case, let's do manual battle. So combat in Endless Legend 2 is fully manual, you have full manual control over it, and this is basically an improved version of Humankind's combat, I would say. Endless Legend 1 had a bit of a weird hybrid system, where you didn't really have full control. Here, you can use units in any order you want, you can do whatever you want with them. It's an actual proper tactical combat, and I'm a big fan of that. I actually really like that. Now, we want to avoid getting our ranged units into melee range, because then, if I move out of melee range, with a melee unit like this one, I will take damage from their attack of opportunity. So we want to stay away, and we want to stay protected, if possible. Now, there's a good chance he will try to attack my ranged units. They also have their second unit, and I expect them to, again, try to attack my squishy ranged units. We will attack with our ranged units first, and then we'll attack with our melee guy, which will almost do the job, not quite. Let's see what they do now. And by the way, you can switch to auto anytime you want. You can also use fast speed, which is what I'm doing right now. And yeah, as predicted, he went for my squishy ranged units, which again is not unexpected. So we want to kill this guy for sure, like so. Now I also expect their other dude to go for my ranged units. And as you can see, he's actually playing pretty smart, because now if I move this archer, I will take damage, as you can see, which in this case it might actually be worth doing, but it might not be, you have to decide yourself. But I will show you, if I do this, yeah, I will take damage, but then I can attack more safely. Now I can attack with this guy and do some damage, or I can use defend action, to try to not get myself killed, which in this case might be a slightly better idea. Although I might have been able to kill him. Okay, I actually survived. So then we can attack again, and we won. There we go. Honestly, I will say that instant resolution right now seems to favor the human player maybe a little bit too much sometimes, but that's not really that important. What's important is that you can actually see what exactly is going to happen with instant resolution. You don't have to guess. Alright, here we got some reinforcements. I will send him right away. We will finish building the coral. And since I unlocked the lab, I can build the lab. So the lab gets a bonus if there's more than one yield on the tile, which unfortunately we do not have at the moment. But it also gets a bonus from an adjacent anomaly. So we can build it right here. I will get +4 science and +1 influence. Okay, and there we go, we got the coral now. If I go into my quest journal, I can check out my quest progress. So we need one more coral spore to finish this quest right here. This is chapter 1. This is the actual faction quest, and this is the pacification quest for the minor faction. Now, since I have the coral, I can pay 60 influence to evolve this into a camp, and this will claim the territory it's in. It will also keep the ability to generate coral, so we will do that. And here you can see the coral is spreading and the yields went up. Now the next thing I can do with this camp is attach it to a city, or I can turn it into its own city. But I can't do that right now because I don't have enough influence. Okay, here's another minor faction, and we can see that we would get more experience of militia per pacified villages, and experience gained per turn, which is pretty interesting. Okay, there's a good chance they will attack us, yep. So if I use instant resolution here, yeah, we can see the outcome on the left. Okay, let's do manual battle. Now you cannot move your unit placement when combat begins. And as you can see, they got their first turn, so they got the opportunity to attack me. We want to block the way, because we don't want them to attack our squishy units. So we can go here. But first we'll attack with our hero, like this. Actually, what would have been better was attacking with a hero before I moved my envoy. But it's okay. We can do this. Now, if I attack right now, they would probably move over here and kill my squishy guy. They might be able to do that anyway, but we'll see if we can avoid it. We can go back here and then attack, because we have free tile range. Then we can attack with the envoy. Okay, so I can probably kill them here. There's a decent chance I lose one envoy, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, let's see, maybe not. I think we'll be fine. Okay, we're fine. There you go. Nice. And we got 40 dust from that. So I really like combat in Endless Legend 2. Like I already said, I'm a big fan of tactical combat, and I think it's really well executed in Endless Legend 2. I already liked tactical combat in Humankind, and I think it's even better in Endless Legend 2. Big fan of that part of the game already. And our hero leveled up to level 2, so now if we open him up, we will be able to spend our point. So there are a few things we can do. I can spend this point on an actual attribute over here, or I can spend it on a skill. So in this case, because we started with 2 points in resilience, it makes the most sense to spend that on something that benefits from resilience. So I'm thinking deflecting stance would be good. So let's get the deflecting stance. There you go. That's 1 point spent. Okay, we need to find one more curiosity. And we got one right here. Actually, we need to find 2 more, I believe. Yep. Now, I could split my army here, which might be a good idea in this case. Just to be able to find more stuff quickly. We can do that. And we can check out this faction here. They want us to search Board's retreat. Okay. Which is right here. Oh, also, I did not actually confirm spending this point. That was my bad. Let me just do that right now. And this is actually a good thing, because you can't just click something by accident and then not be able to take that back. Here's a nice anomaly with +7 food. And here's a curiosity, so I will grab that, and that will finish the quest to pacify the first minor faction. There you go. So that quest is done. Alright, let's get ourselves some influence now. Because I already have one district, I can build the forum next to an existing district, and it will get more. In this case +3, if I built it here, it would get +2. And this tile also has no yields, so the forum should be good here. Alright, let's build one more colored spall right here, next to the anomaly. Okay, so here's a major development that's happening right now. First of all, we unlock the council seat, but we have the Monsoon. So the Monsoon has a few different effects, as you can see right here. You will have some hazards appearing on the map during the Monsoon, the brambles, they will impede your movement, they can also spawn some new monsters, and they will impact your economy. And they will also get time-limited special curiosities, which is something I really like here, actually. And on the first turn of the Monsoon, you get a chance to reorganize your council. So let's go there first. So the council allows you to appoint some people and get some bonuses from them. Here we have 3 different options. I can appoint 2 of them. So this guy would give me +5 industry on City Hall. This one would give us +5 influence per camp on the Empire, and also make it cheaper to assimilate a faction and cohabitate with them. And this one would give me +100% gains on battle spoils. So let's grab the industry, and let's also grab the influence. We can then go into protectorates, and I will be able to use the Black Hammers. Now, this will cost me 5 influence per turn, but we already have 11. So this is not a big deal. Previously, I only had 6. So with the Black Hammers, we will get +5 approval per pacified villages on the keep districts, and we will get +2 industry per pacified villages on keep districts. So obviously, we'll want to get some keep districts with these guys. So here's another quest. They want us to build 3 foundations and we'll get a unit. And here we get to make a choice. We have 3 different options. We can get a resource here. This is a strategic resource, I believe. We can lose -10 industry for 10 turns, but get +75 dust. Or we can get +5 science and ivory tower status for 10 turns. Yeah, that's the +5 science. But we lose approval. That's probably fine. I like science. Yeah, our approval is still fine, 51%. So, since there are 2 curiosities over here, it would be really good to grab them, because I don't think these are the time-limited ones. We can get a unit in 3 turns. I cannot make that any faster, unfortunately. Also, since we turned the Black Hammers into a protectorate, we now have 2 citizens from them, 2 actual Black Hammer pops, and you can see that their effect is that they get +2 industry if they are scribes. So we'll keep them as scribes. Now, one thing I can also do is move my aspect pop to be a scribe, and I will gain more influence, because that's the effect that they have. They gain +1 influence per number of different population types in the category. So now I'm gaining 16 per turn. Alright, so we can research a technology here that will add 1 protectorate slot. But it will also give us some additional defense while defending, which will definitely come in handy in combat. I also now have enough influence to attach this camp to a city, so we're gonna do that. Here you go, now it's attached to our city. 58 dust, +50 health, +2 movement, that's pretty nice. And this is the pacification quest for the minor faction here. We can also build some more foundations, so we can grab this one right here. We can also build foundations over here, so that is definitely an option. Probably a good idea. Certainly these 2, because they have much better yields due to the fact they are anomalies. So we'll spend our influence like this. There you go. And that will also finish the quest we got. So it gives us a unit. And unlocks the next quest. Pacify 2 villages by coral. We can also grab this other curiosity, so even more dust. Okay, so this should complete the quest, and it will pacify the minor faction. There you go. Okay, so now the monsoon season has ended, and this will, as you can see, reveal more land, because the water level has gone down. So previously, this over here was a dead end. But not anymore, now I can explore in this direction. And this is probably one of the coolest major features of Endless Legend 2. I can't think of any other game, I don't think there was any other 4X game that has done anything like this before. And here we can see that we actually have something interesting over here. This is Splintered Prison, Fortress level 1. And we can get some pretty interesting rewards. We can get some equipment potentially. So we definitely wanted to go there, but my main army is a bit far away. I was going to explore to the north with my main army. We should also definitely build coral over here, because these guys are already pacified. So we'll build coral spore probably here. Okay, we found a heavy mace. Interesting. Now, I don't think we can use that because this guy is ranged. Oh yeah, we have a charm here. Yeah, I can't use the actual mace on this guy, but that's a pretty nice item. +1 might, +48 damage. Now, we will get more heroes eventually, but I can't get them yet. Alright, one more technology and we'll be able to get started on the second era. Now, this is almost the end of the map to the north, so I probably won't find anything overly interesting there anymore. I think we'll just go south. There's a lot of interesting stuff to the south, so that seems like a better destination. Okay, here's an actual AI unit right here. We can check out diplomacy, and that's them right here. There are a few things I could try, like non-aggression pact, if they accept. That will cost me 20 influence. Now, I can include an inducement, but that's a bit too expensive. They will not accept otherwise. So I'm gonna say no on that. They will probably attack my scout. Okay, here's an underground citadel. And it's actually kind of close to my main army. 536 power estimation. I probably wouldn't be able to win that. So here we have a strategic resource deposit, which in this case is titanium. It is a little bit far away from where I am, so I probably won't be able to get that quickly. And yep, our scout is under attack. He's probably going to die, but I will try to explore as much as I can before that happens. Okay, my other scout is under attack by the minor faction. Here's a curiosity. Yep, he died. I mean, it's okay. He did his job. Okay, here we can check out the weapons cache. Light mace. Okay, that's not super useful for a ranged hero. Yeah, see, these guys can be pretty aggressive. Okay, here we go. We actually reached a new era now. Okay, so check this out. If I can manage to beat this fortress, I will have an option of either getting 900 influence, which is a lot of influence when I'm getting 27 per turn, or I can seize it, and it will build a camp in place of the fortress, which will work like any other camp in our empire. Now, I probably can't beat them, and you cannot use instant resolution for things like this, so I have to do it manually. I probably can't beat them here, and that would be tough. But I can replace one unit with this Swordsmith, who's a little bit stronger. Alright, so here's the second era. There's a lot of potential research we could do here. But I think the first one we should get is this one here. It will draw a hero. So I obviously want that. And this will be a new quest. Okay, more approval. Our approval is fine. I don't want to lose science. -5 approval, but gain industry. I think I'm okay with that. We'll get that. Our approval is still fine, and more industry will allow us to get some units quickly. Okay, so I added the Wordsmith to this army. Let's see if we can do it now. Might be doable. These guys are pretty strong though. 60 to 75 damage. I think we want more experience first, before we attempt this. We could go fight the AI. That's a good way to get some experience. Oh yeah, we also have access to a new unit now, the Observer, which is a cavalry unit, with 50 to 65 damage, 15 defense, and 4 movement. So I will definitely grab 1 or 2. Okay, I turned my camp into a city, which means I'll be able to cohabitate with another minor faction. So we're gonna do that, because we still have 1 more slot. So now I have access to another unit, which is the Huntress right here. When under 50% max health, applies Berserker status to this unit. And this is an infantry unit. Okay, also, I can show off a bigger battle here, at least I think so. Okay, I think we can do this. We should be able to win this. Okay, now he will run away. Interesting. I can't really blame him. I would have done the same, probably. They are sending some reinforcements. Smart move. I still want to attack this fortress, though. So maybe we can do that. So, okay, in theory, I should be able to win this fight over here. It would still be better to get level 3 or some better gear for our guy. These are some pretty strong units. But what the heck, let's give it a shot. So we have 2 cavalry units, 2 ranged, one of them being our hero, and the warsmith. Now, they are mostly level 0 or level 1. Let's see if we can do this. Only one way to find out. Okay, you go here. Nice. So 1 down. Thousands to go. Okay. Now, the remaining 3 are pretty strong too. Whoops. First ranged. Then move in like so. Okay. And we'll attack with the cavalry. Let's attack with the infantry first. Okay, then the cavalry. Okay, 2 more. I think we can probably do this. I will likely lose some units. So this is our hero. Now, if the hero dies, you don't lose the hero permanently. You can pay to get them back faster, or you can just wait a little bit. But you do not lose them. I don't want to lose them and have to wait, but I'm just saying they're not, like, gone forever. Okay, good. Nice. Yeah, let's just back up. He did his job. He can just chill in the back. I don't think we lose anything in here. Yeah, we should be fine. Yep. There you go, and that will give me 900 influence, because I picked that option. We also got some gear. That's a consumable, interesting. Create a horror unit on target tile. Don't consume the action of the hero nor its movement. Destroy after use. Okay, alright. +1 determination and a bow. I think that's basically the same one as mine. Okay, well, there you go. And our hero leveled up. So this is the consumable. I do want to use that. So we have to equip it first. So since we have 2 points in determination now, it makes sense to pick something that will benefit from determination. We can grab a recovery shot. That is actually pretty useful. This would allow us to heal our other units, so I can't say no to that. And we could pick up Second Wind. Adds +15% critical chance when adjacent to a friendly unit. And an extra chance per determination. So that is nice. I think I might take that. So with the next level up, we'll be able to pick some, like, tier 2 skills. Okay, so last but not least, because I finished my research, I can now pick a new hero. We have 4 candidates, and I have to pick one of them right now. And we can see that these 2 guys come from the factions Daughters of Bor and Blackhammers. And the other 2 are aspect heroes. Some pretty interesting effects here. Isolationist. +20 food on cities, +20 industry on cities, and +20 dust on cities. That is quite a lot. +100% influence cost for found camp action. So that's a very big downside. Now this is a councilor trait, keep in mind. Which means I would have to have him assigned as a councilor to get this benefit. But that's a pretty big one. Now on the other hand, they won't be very good in combat, as you can see. Okay, let's get this one. They will have the warrior skill tree. 2 points in resilience, 2 points in intuition, I like that. We can inspect them like so. Cavalry. Yeah, I'm okay with this. There you go. We can check them out right away. And we can actually use this mace. That would be an upgrade. It also gives us +1 might, not only more damage. And we can also equip, the charm. We can equip one of these. Shield the allied units for 40 shield, okay? And this one was damage. Okay, take damage. And we can spend 1 point. So we have at least 1 point in every attribute. Alright, I'm going to grab some defense. And we can give him his own army right away. Now, this is not the best balanced army ever right here, but he'll have some units right away. And we have another one coming, the Huntress. But anyway, I think that's going to be enough for now. So I hope this video gave you a decent idea of what to expect from Endless Legend 2. I'm quite looking forward to Endless Legend 2. It has some pretty interesting ideas that I quite like already. But yeah, thanks for watching all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. And I will see you next time.